Hello, I'm Dana Worthen with Sunny Solutions Living, your doTERRA wellness advocate. If you're watching this live, give me some hearts and likes. If you're watching on the replay, do a hashtag replay. Tonight I wanted to talk to you about the iTovi scanner. And so I know that right now we're not supposed to be closer than 6 feet. So for me to scan you with this probably isn't going to happen yet. Hopefully in a few weeks. So the scanner works through an app on my phone, and you just turn it on and you hold the scanner like this. And I hit scan from my phone, and the scanner works off of a technology that's been around for a long time. I believe back in the 60s there was a lot of research on muscle response testing and applied kinesiology. And so with a 91% accuracy rate in a double-blinded test, so participants were asked to use muscle response testing and to basically listen to their body, and it came back very accurately. So muscle response testing works off the same principles that the iTovi scanner does, as well as Fitbit and some of that other type of technology if you've ever used a Zytoscan. So it'll match up your body what seems to be a little bit out of balance, the products that will help your body bring itself back to balance. So when I did my scan, I guess it would have been the last weekend, I found a few oils that were very helpful to me, and it was kind of late in the day when I got a chance to really sit down and look at my scan, but I wanted to show you what it looked like. So if you'll look at this, I just took a screenshot of the app, and so it talks about my oils, my top oils. So here it was celery seed, spikenard, Siberian fir, rosemary, cheer, and then here's my second half, the other 5. And so it was citronella, clary sage, digest zen, frankincense, and Roman chamomile. And then also on the report, it tells you, it gives you an emotions chart. And so it gives you what products would help out of those different areas. And then it also gives you the body systems chart. So it also shows you that you have a certain number of products that would bring that area into balance. And so I see I've got some live watchers on here. Hi, Tamara. And then, so I pulled up one of the emotions area, and so I chose enlightened to show you. And so enlightened, it says feelings of open-mindedness, reasonability, and cultivation and knowledge. And I had 5 products under enlightened. And the first 3 products were clary sage, frankincense, and Roman chamomile. And then I also pulled up the clarity, and it had 4 products, and the first 3 that I have are Siberian fir, rosemary, and digest zen. So while I was looking at my scan report, I looked at the oils, and I thought, what could I do that would help me sleep? Because I was just kind of feeling like I needed a little extra sleep. I thought, I know in my mind from reading my books that there was a certain amount of oils that would be good for sleep. So I chose to muscle response test because I'd already had my scan earlier in the day. So I chose spikenard, Siberian fir, and clary sage, frankincense, and Roman chamomile because I knew those would be good for sleep. And so I have a couple of books out to show you. The Emotions and Oils book, and then the Modern Essentials book. And so you can pull those out to read up a little bit on the oils. And so what I did was I used my muscle response testing to figure out would this help my body if I diffused it. So I just went through that list of oils, and I come up with 4 of those 5 that I could blend together. And the spikenard I actually put on the bottoms of my feet instead of diffusing it, which is a good place for the oils to go anyway. And then I used muscle response testing even to ask how many drops do I need in the diffuser. So I needed 1 drop of Siberian fir and 2 drops of frankincense and 2 drops of clary sage and 2 drops of Roman chamomile, which was about a perfect blend really to put in the diffuser. 2, 4, 6, 7 drops. So I normally put between 6 and 10 drops in my diffuser because it runs 8 hours at night. You could put a little less or a little more depending on what you want to do. And so I'll tell you a quick story. I put it in and I slept like a rock that night. And so I've been using it, I think for, let's see, tonight will be my 4th day, I think, or 4th night. And I really enjoyed it. I looked up some of the properties of these oils just to give you a real quick idea of what they might be good for individually. And Siberian fir is a really cool oil. We haven't had it very long with doTERRA, a couple of years. And it is good for the respiratory system. So if you think about sleep, it is important to have good oxygen flow in our body. And Siberian fir is very supportive for the respiratory system. And then emotionally is called the oil of aging and perspective. So it helps with grief and loss and despairing feelings. And then it also gives comfort, forgiveness, perspective, optimism. It helps you to be adaptable and more peaceful. And I thought, wow, I really probably needed that to just be a little more adaptable and to really to have some more positive thoughts, because it's really easy being shut up in your homes to kind of go down some rabbit holes that aren't really healthy for your mind to go down. So the Siberian fir is really good for that. And then it also, I clipped this little portion out of the emotions book because I really thought it stated things pretty well. It helps ease difficult transition by encouraging individuals to focus on finding meaning and purpose in the new chapter of their life. As they progress through life, individuals may need to realign their hopes and aspirations to the reality in the present moment. So Siberian fir reminds individuals to look for the good and remember that they are inherently valuable and needed. And so I've heard so many people that are struggling with just feeling needed because they're isolated. And some people are really having sad feelings and they're not knowing what to do. And so the Siberian fir would be an excellent addition, even if you didn't have any of these other oils. And I think I have a few comments on here. Let's see, so you could put a drop on your feet. Yes, you could definitely put a drop on the bottoms of the feet if you don't want to put it in the diffuser, for sure. And I know, like Greg's used it in his CPAP machine, and we just took like a swipe off the top of the Siberian fir bottle. I have it right here. So instead of a whole drop, he's got a little cotton pad insert that we ordered online to stick in line, since we can't put them inside the water in his CPAP or it'll break down the plastic. And we just took a little swipe and then we just swiped it over the cotton pad. You don't really need a whole drop in there. And then I have a couple more questions. Okay, that was it all for questions. So yeah, and like I said, I think aromatools.com sells the little CPAP inserts. It just goes in the line. So you pull apart your 2 lines where the mask fitting goes in, pull it apart, stick that in, and there's just a little cotton pad in there that you can do. But certainly on the bottoms of the feet are a really good place for the oils if you do have a CPAP and can't use the diffuser at night. And then you could even make like a little roller blend or just a drop if you're using a custom blend like I just did for the week, and add that to the bottoms of your feet. And the other couple of oils that I thought were really helpful for this time period right now, the frankincense is so good for emotional balance all the way around. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it's very supportive neurologically, and good for the immune system, our nervous system, great for our skin. Frankincense is the oil of truth. And I feel like right now we're all struggling to find our way through this new phase of the world. And so frankincense is a really good oil to use even in the morning if you're reading your Bible or meditating. It helps you to kind of seek out that truth. And then something I wrote down is it helps with feelings of abandonment or if you're spiritually feeling disconnected, which many of us can't go to church right now. I know a few places are meeting in small groups, like less than 10 and 6 feet apart kind of thing. But, you know, the majority of churches aren't meeting right now, so we feel really disconnected. Frankincense also helps if we feel kind of unprotected and misaligned. So it'll help you to feel enlightened and loved and protected and open and connected. And then clary sage is great for hormonal balance and emotional balance as well as the skin. and it helps with clarity and vision. It also helps with feelings of confusion and darkness, hopelessness, and also blocked creativity. So if you feel like you just kind of can't quite do what you want to do, even though you're stuck at home because you just don't know like how to be creative anymore, so the Clary Sage is good for that. And then also helps you to be open-minded. And then the last oil that was in my iTovi scan was Roman chamomile. And Roman chamomile has been used for centuries. In fact, there was documentation historically where they said if you put a Roman chamomile plant next to another plant, it actually brought healing to that other plant that was sick. So I thought that was really interesting when I was researching it. And so Roman chamomile is good for emotional balance. It's also good for the nervous system and the skin. And Roman chamomile is called the oil of spiritual purpose. And I kind of laughed a little bit because I think people feel like they may have lost their purpose. A lot of people have lost their job or they've been furloughed, and we associate a lot of our value with what we do and not who we are. And so Roman chamomile kind of helps us to find our way again. And I wrote down Roman chamomile assists a person in shedding the meaningless activities that consume their lives so that they can focus on their meaningful work more fully. It's a reminder to do what you love. Do what you love. So it's okay to find a new way through this and go back to what you really know is meaningful and powerful, and not be wasting time on things that don't really matter. And so I thought, well, these oils, this little scanner picked up on exactly what I needed for the week and brought me back to reality, so to speak. And as you've heard what I've talked about earlier, these oils all had those different properties that come together. And not that they're the magic thing or whatever, but they just help you to be more in touch with your emotions and to be able to process them in a healthier way and not stuff them or deny them. So I really hope this helps. And if you want to learn more about muscle response testing, or when we're actually allowed to be in contact with each other and you'd like to get an iTovi scan, you can definitely set up a time to meet with me. I would love to help you learn more about how to use the oils in a very personal way. So if you have some questions, give me some comments below or message me. And if you're watching on the replay, do a #replay. And thanks for being on here live for those of you that could join me tonight. Have a great rest of your week.